Should I burn this review down?
I'm gonna burn it all down. Mother!
Okay, I'm not gonna burn it down, but I'm gonna come in just very chill and honest real quick. But today's video, I'll be reviewing the newest Scream film, Scream 7. It is finally out. Before I talk about my review, be sure, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video as it really helps. Feel free to do so. Let's dive deep into Scream 7. Before I talk about my initial thoughts to Scream 7, I do have a lot to say on the pre-production stuff that's been going on in terms of controversy, and I won't go too much depth into this, but what started it all that would actually end up being a little shaky is Scream 6 with Neve Campbell not returning in that installment due to salary issues, which I kind of had to worry for a second considering that she had a strong return in Scream 5. But Scream 6 turned out really efficiently well than I thought. Then going to Scream 7, Melissa Barrera, who was the lead in the previous two films, she got fired due to her own political agenda that she spoke out, and I don't want to talk too much about it, so don't go against me anyways. And then Jenna Ortega followed that she got fired, that she wanted to step down for her. So I do honestly respect that. And they had Christopher Landon, who was also the director, and he unfortunately stepped down as well. And with that said, it kind of gave me a lot of doubts to the seventh one with all this casting that they've been retooling and bringing back. It kind of feels so desperate for what they're going with, like bringing back Courtney Cox, David Arquette, even Matthew Lillard, which crazy to think about. And I don't want to spoil too much going on, but everything what they're doing with so far is so desperate, and it turns out to be not just worse, but turn out to be just exactly what I thought it would be. So my initial thoughts of Scream 7, I don't think it's truly of a bad movie per se. It's not a bad movie, but I will pretty much say the ideas and the casting they were going with the retooling, it just doesn't not only feel bland and generic of a slasher, but it kind of failed to know where it wants to head to, and it end up just being not a disappointment, but just feeling very empty. Probably not just the worst of the franchise, in my opinion. I do love the previous Scream films, and even the fourth one wasn't my favorite. I would take that back and like the fourth film even more. I think Scream 7 just completely falls very flat to be the worst of the franchise. What really falls on me with Scream 7 is that, like I said, they brought back a lot of the remaining cast, like Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Matthew Lillard, and so on. I kind of feel like what they're going with nostalgia is way too over nostalgia, and it just really falls not flat, but it kind of just keeps recycling the same things with the story of these characters. Like Cindy Prescott is one of those protagonists of Final Girls, of course, Courtney Cox. I just kind of feel like what they're going with, like I said, is just too desperate. And some of their stories like this, even though they both had a strong debut comeback in the previous Scream films, and I do love the fifth and the sixth one, it has to really end at some point because it kind of needs to really give new generations life and the audiences to what they would love to see, especially with the franchise. And I know Neve Campbell coming back is a strong selling point, but it has to really end at some point at the same time because it really gets really too much. And the ideas they try to do, and I will say about Matthew Lillard, he's not entirely back, but he's used in the way that didn't rub me off the wrong way, but it was really stupid in my opinion, and that just falls completely flat, excuse me. And it did not have any new innovational concepts whatsoever. I will say the opening act was pretty good, but then everything else, it just didn't do what I was going to do. And the characters, new character wise, most of these characters aren't just flesh and they're not used properly. At least what I really enjoyed that were saving graces. Of course, I did enjoy Neve Campbell as always, but again, the over nostalgia is just too much. But also, I actually enjoyed Isabel May, who plays the daughter of Sidney Prescott. I thought her chemistry with them together was pretty nice and pretty cool. I like Isabel May in this movie. I thought her talent was pretty damn good. And then the musical score, it's by Marco Beltrami, who's done the previous franchise films. I thought he did pretty well. He brings the suspense and the tone of this music of the score of the series, so it's always pretty good. And then you also have the kills. Now they're not that super good or great out of this world like the previous films, but I will say some of the scenery with the kills At least in one or two scenes, I thought they were pretty good. At least one of them was a strong one I do enjoy, but the kills just weren't super good. I thought they were pretty decent for the most of that. So my overall thoughts, I find Scream 7 not just a big turd of this franchise, but falls very generically of a slasher in every department. The overuse of nostalgia and the ideas put in this movie just weren't big enough and they were very flat. Even the reveal of this movie at the end just fully didn't justify big enough. I did got some decent enjoyment out of this, with Neve Campbell, Isabel Main's chemistry, the score, and the decent kills. Just at least was decently serviceable enough, but doesn't really justify enough that Scream 7 is not just a terrible sequel, it's just not a great one either. Now, do I think it's the end of this franchise due to this film? I don't think so. I'm sure they'll have a better way to come back, but I'm really hoping a little turnaround with the eighth film because it just got announced already as this week goes. So I'm hoping for the eighth film to not only just gets back on its feet, but not to overuse nostalgia so much and callbacks that, again, the ideas and nostalgia with the casting just really were flat enough not to make a justifying sequel. I'll be giving Scream 7 a 5 out of 10 and 2.5 stars. If you have enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like in this video as it really feels free, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and share your thoughts down below in the comment section on what do you think of Scream 7. And until next time, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Peace. I'm out.